Caritas Egypt, like all other Caritas in the world, has the objective of answering emergency calls. Those can be timely interventions at the time of natural causes such as floods or earthquakes, or on a longer time frame. The latter takes the form of a continued support for the most deprived population. This is the call that Caritas Egypt responds to with its programs in the fields of education, health, and development as a whole. More specifically, I would mention the program of basic education for adults, our activities with the people with special needs, with children at risk, with the lepers, with the refugees, with the people living with HIV/AIDS, and also our program in the field of micro-projects loans. All of those activities I just mentioned aim at empowering each human being, giving him the tools of attaining self-sufficiency and economical independency, while preserving his dignity.
Caritas Egypt is aware about the literacy problem since its beginning. This was in 1972 when we started to open some literacy classes in Cairo and Alexandria. The percentage of illiterate people at this time was around 47% from the adult population, which means that different goals for development can hardly be achieved. The number of the classes reached actually 1,000 per year, with more than 20,000 students in several governorates. Among those, 5,000 to 6,000 continue their studies in formal education. The Basic Education for Adults program is very appreciated by the beneficiaries themselves. In fact, there is a very few dropouts, and in some villages, there is a long waiting list. This is due to its simplicity and to the relevance of the content to beneficiaries' needs. Some students started to transfer what they learned in the class to their parents or neighbors outside the class. This encouraged us to adjust our teaching methodology to cope with a peer education approach. It was a great success, and actually, more than 1,000 persons benefit of that program per year. To avoid relapse into illiteracy, Caritas started since year 2000 to establish some village libraries for post-literacy. The aim is to initiate as well the newly literate people to think and act together and thus contribute in solving some of the community problems. The idea is to let these libraries become a gathering point to launch a community development. Thanks to this initiative, many practical projects have been realized with the local authorities and the beneficiaries, such as naming the streets of the village, organizing a health campaign, etc. In the year 2006, the UNESCO selected the Basic Education Program of Caritas as one of the 9 best programs in the world. And we were invited to present it during the White House Conference on Global Literacy, which was held in New York.
Caritas Egypt also works in the sector of disability. Why did it take this decision? The number of persons with disability is higher than 3 million persons according to the lowest statistics, half of them being children, and services reach a maximum of 2%, meaning that more than 2 million children and adults with disabilities are deprived of their most basic rights to health, education, rehabilitation, and participation in their community services. And millions of families are at a loss, causing a problem on a national scale. In order to create models of solutions to this problem, Caritas Egypt established in 1986 SETI Center to improve the quality of life of persons with disabilities and their families. SETI being the abbreviation of the words support, education, and training for inclusion. In order to face the problem of lack of services, high cost of some of them, and respond to the questions of parents who don't know where to go, we offer family rehabilitation programs, training mothers, fathers, and siblings to stimulate the child's development according to his age since the moment they discover his disability, to transfer their experience to other families, and to advocate for the rights of their child. To allow the child with disability to enjoy his right to education, SETI offers the model of inclusive education and successfully trains school staff in several governorates to include children with disability in regular classes. Hundreds of children benefit from this program that was adopted as a national strategy. To support young persons with disability to enjoy their right to have a job, SETI offers vocational rehabilitation programs, training young men and women with disabilities on independence, on acquiring job skills, and encouraging employers to offer them job opportunities, especially in the framework of the law stating that 5% of jobs of firms should be assigned to persons with disabilities. To spread these models in Egypt, we don't only work in cities, we also work in slum areas, in small towns and villages, in various governorates, as part of community-based rehabilitation, so that the community itself takes the responsibility of the rehabilitation of its members with disability based on its own resources. Are these solutions really effective? All we can say is that SETI receives every year thousands of families, Muslims and Christians, coming from various socioeconomic levels and from all governorates. Hundreds of professionals and volunteers participate annually in our training and awareness programs. Hundreds of children have been included in regular classes, and hundreds of young persons have found suitable job opportunities. Hundreds of parents and community members have come together to initiate services in areas that had never before heard about such services. And tens of associations are now presenting better services. But the need is still great. However, what we are sure of is that our societies will improve. If we make room for differences that may exist among us and allow everybody to participate, we will all benefit.
Caritas Egypt was established in 1967 as street children have become a tangible reality in all the major cities of Egypt. The creation of half-day care center in Cairo and Alexandria in January 2004 became a necessity. We try to integrate as many children as possible to literacy classes and to vocational training. And we develop for them collective and individual life experiences through many activities. After finding the children in the street and convincing them to come to the center, we try to make them acquire positive experiences, modify their behavior, which is rejected by the community. Our programs in the half-day centers are health program, included medical care, first aid, nutritional support, and risky health behavior awareness and prevention program. Educational and pedagogical program included literacy classes, mathematics lessons, general knowledge lessons, value of life sessions. And vocational training program included leather workshop and electricity workshop. Creative and cultural activities included drawing, crafting classes, and library. Recreational program included sports, trips, and camps. And community and society, public awareness building, cooperation and networking on local and international level, providing documents to children to be regularly employed. Children at risk want to belong to society and they need to be understood.
An essential component to all those activities is the continued coordination with official instances in the country and with other civil society actors. Unfortunately, those factors are not enough. We also rely on individual and private enterprises' support, both materially or service-like. It is worth remembering that whatever your contribution is, small or large, it represents one way of helping us pursue our current activities and respond better to any rising emergency situation in the future. Thank you for this chain of solidarity with those who need it the most. Caritas Egypt believes in the right of each human being to live a decent life. All of our programs aim to give the tools of this self-sufficiency to every person who wishes to get his own life in hand. We certainly hope so.